Today's episode is sponsored by the Lady Starbucks. That is such an iconic logo. I think it doesn't get enough credit. Yeah.
What is it? Is it like some sort of like...
What is the resemblance
She's
behind
like
the
a mermaid,
Starbucks
right?
logo? She kind of looks like a mermaid.
Is that
Maybe
that what
that's why
she's
my
supposed
daughter
to be?
loves cake pops so much.
not because they taste good or anything?
No, they're addicting though. Do you like cake pops?
Well, I don't tend to usually get them
You need to.
just because I know I'll probably get addicted.
Worst Starbucks addiction that ever happened to me when I was training for my bodybuilding shows. The cake pop was like, I would save just enough macros to eat a cake pop like once a week. And then after my show, I had like 20 of them and almost barfed. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another episode of Quick Bites. Things are ramping up. Things are getting real serious in our Quick Bites world.
Yes, it is official.
It's always been official. Come on, Riley.
Yeah, we have new TikTok content though
Yes.
coming out. Call me Jim Kramer. We're also we're just doing it.
We're
So,
just doing it.
we got guests.
Some
Lining
guests
up.
line up. Yeah, lining up at the door.
Yeah, we'll let them
Don't
in
see me
someday.
there yet. Yeah. Like I said, we're going for a big guest first. No Elliot waiting here for the first guest. Sorry. Shots fired.
We'll just DM Jesse Itzler, see if he wants to pop on.
He probably will. How would you guys feel if we went with
We should have got his contact information at VCon.
and we should have got a picture with him because remember
We
I was
were
like,
right
oh, we
there.
should say hi, and then it's like that's Jesse, and then he had that banger speech the next day, and I was like, oh man, I wish I would have said hello.
Yeah.
So Riley, Mr. Jim Kramer, Riley Hansen.
We are all of a sudden bullish on Starbucks. I've never been the type to like invest in Starbucks just because I'm like, yeah, whatever, coffee.
You don't like $7 coffees?
Yeah, I'm like, it's fine. I don't really need to put my money there. But lately, there's been some news happening with Starbucks. They're getting a new CEO next April.
Big deal.
Big deal. They just rolled out the Reinvention Plan.
Because Howard Schultz was the original CEO, and he had someone take his place a few years ago, and then he took it back over.
Correct. Yes, he came back. Supposedly, he's still going to stick around for a little while after the new one to kind of like transfer the roles kind
Right.
of thing. Seems like he might have some control issues with that position.
It's his baby.
Yeah, so,
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's his baby.
Yeah. So they rolled out the Reinvention Plan. They're reinvesting $450 million back into Starbucks as a corporation over the next 2 years, starting in October.
Okay.
They're going to be investing in more stores, better leadership, better technology, new machines.
They're
So-
already ahead of the curve, in my opinion, with like the Starbucks app. Like, I heard someone analyze it. Like, they sit there, like, it's kind of a bank account in ways.
It is because you can
Like-
preload it.
How many people preload their Starbucks card? I know I have it set up to the auto transfers $50 over every time my balance goes below $30.
See, personally,
That's
I
so
don't.
smart. That's so
but-
smart.
That is smart because what do you know? Like what does it look like legally? Can they like use that money?
Probably. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Because it's like
It's
technically
cash.
you're buying their product, so it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like buying a gift card. So
Could
it's
you take
cash
it
to
out
them.
though? Probably once.
That is a good question. I don't think you can. Once you put it in, you can't take it
Really?
out. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's
Yeah,
not
I
like
don't
a
really know too
reloadable
much.
debit card, but
Elliot's getting tagged in the.
oh man, it's getting blown up. Yeah, you're not a first guest. Sorry, buddy.
That's so funny.
Um,
Yeah, so
bullish on Starbucks.
pretty bullish on them because they're kind of just like making waves. They're trying to innovate pretty quickly. Not quickly, but just they're going to be the first ones to really innovate, I feel like, as a coffee corporation.
So looking at like stock price, I think that's rather than going the market cap, I think more people like understand stock prices.
price,
you
yeah.
know,
Even when you say
Um,
market cap to me, I'm like,
yeah. What's that again? Stock price times outstanding shares
Yeah.
equals market value. All-time high for Starbucks was $126. It's sitting at about 92 today, 93.
It right now is 92.28.
Okay. Obviously the market's had
We have 7 minutes
a
left.
decent correction. The last 5 months, we could say.
Yep.
I've been super bullish on Starbucks from the start, and I unloaded my whole position at like it went up to 126, and then it pulled back to, I think, 110-ish. I'd like to look up the metrics on that of when I sold all of it, but I was like, you know, when market's going down, I was like, Starbucks is one of those companies. They had all that drama with China for a while that like they were threatening that they were going to shut down all the Chinese stores and all that stuff during COVID. Obviously, they got hammered because of that. Other thing Howard Schultz said is that the Chinese market will outdo the U.S. market by 2025 for Starbucks. So like they will have more stores generating more revenue,
Interesting.
surpassing the U.S. I mean,
feel
we
like
do
the
like our
US
pumpkin spice lattes.
I was
but
like, I feel like the U.S. demographic is just perfect
I know.
to fulfill that.
And I feel like
goal.
Starbucks like just absolutely takes a shit on Dutch Bros. Like I hate Dutch Bros coffee.
Well, I don't go to Dutch Bros because
You're
it's
a
Dutch Bros.
Yep. You're one of those guys, huh?
What?
You like Dutch Bros, don't you?
No, I said I don't go to
Oh,
Dutch Bros
good.
because it's just Dutch Bros. Not
Okay.
because of their drinks or like what. It's not because of the coffee, the
Frou-frou
product.
candy.
Yeah,
Candy drinks. It's like Shaka Bra, Dutch Bros.
literally. Yeah, I can't. I'm not.
You're more
that.
sophisticated than that.
I also am not really a Starbucks guy, but when I started dating Bree, she was working there at the time, so we would always go there because it was practically free for her.
That's right.
So we're like, sure, we'll get them.
So talk to me more about this like rollout plan that they're doing. I hear that they're working on some internal things that make things more efficient when it comes to their cold brew. Do you know much about that?
I don't know in depth. I was talking to Bree about it. She's like, I mean, it doesn't take that long already. I'm like, well, they said that it's going to condense from 20 steps to 4 steps.
So their cold brew process technically takes 20 steps right now, right?
That's what it said.
And it's going to condense down to, I confirmed that this morning. I read up on our little
I was going to
Starbucks.
say, it said 20.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you think about the process, you know, if you can expedite your processes, it's going to make the end consumer process much quicker and better and easier.
And it's gonna
More people through the drive-through.
Yep, it's gonna condense their Frappuccino time by like 30%,
Oh wow!
or no, like 60%,
Holy
from
crap.
86 seconds to 35 seconds.
And I wonder if that's just like pre-combining ingredients.
Maybe.
You know,
Yeah.
rather than going like, oh, we got to put 7 scoops of this, 2
Yeah.
scoops of that. It's like
4 pumps. Yeah.
You know,
I'm curious because their main goal is to interact more with customers and attend to the
customer
lobbies more,
Yeah.
the bathrooms, keeping them clean. That's
They've
kind of
always
what
had
they were
clean
saying.
Bathrooms in my maybe we haven't been to Seattle.
I was going to say, I've been to Seattle or Portland. Yeah, Seattle's also closing 5 of the stores because of safety reasons.
Oh, that's
Too
a
much
big deal.
crime.
How many more stores are they opening in the U.S.?
They are currently opening 450 stores per year, and they want to ramp that up to 2,000. But
Oh.
here's the caveat.
Okay.
They're not all going to be the same type of store. So they're not all going to be cafes with
Okay.
seating.
Okay.
44% of them are going to be drive-through stores, and 35% are going to be drive-through only stores. So I'm not sure what the difference is between the drive-through only versus the drive-through store.
I would assume that drive-through is your typical Starbucks that here in Idaho, what we're used to. You've got a little 2,000 square foot lobby, 1,500 square foot barista area with the drive-through.
I wouldn't really
That's my guess.
I wouldn't really call those the cafe stores though either, because it's pretty small in the lobby. Like there's like
Right.
all right, 4 seats to choose from.
Yes.
I think like the Starbucks. I feel like the Starbucks in Sun Valley is probably the best.
I don't think that one counts because that's the only franchise Starbucks in the world.
No,
you
I
know
know. I'm
that?
just saying from the size.
Yeah.
Like the inside. But what?
Yeah.
No. What do you mean?
It's the only Starbucks in the world that was franchised out to use that name for that location.
So
So
Starbucks didn't open it.
Starbucks didn't technically open it, and I don't know the details. I just know that it's like the only franchise Starbucks.
So does
in the
someone own
world.
it?
So someone does own it and controls the revenue and the sales and things
Well,
like that. So
whoever owns it probably lives up there, so they have to own it to live up there to afford it.
Yep. Oh, I love Starbucks.
But yeah, so that'll be interesting moving forward. They're going to be testing delivery only stores and pickup only stores, which I think pickup only stores would be really successful in metro areas.
Yep. Like runners, things like that.
Chicago.
Delivery. I think pickup does really well.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever ordered Starbucks to pick up? Have you done that before?
No, but I see it when I'm waiting in line, and
Yep.
it's pretty streamlined. Like they they have this system.
Yes.
Go right in. It's also like Chipotle though. Like you could just walk in and
take someone's drink. I know that. But it's also like who gets in a stranger's car and rides Uber? Like 10 years ago, we didn't think that was normal. But
True.
I wonder what the waste rate is on Starbucks order. But then they're still paying for it through the order. So whether the drink gets taken or not, they still paid for it.
True.
I've used it a few times, and I think that that's something that it's just going to take time for the consumer to adopt and start using it because it's so efficient. Like, there's my top 10
Sorry
things.
To interrupt.
There's like my top 10 things at Starbucks that I like, and it memorizes that for me since I use the app. Like, I should just click the button rather than, once again, wife always calls during the podcast.
It's
must be that time of the day.
It's just like everything that takes the time to catch on, you know?
Yeah. It's
like
the
we're so
consumer
used
adopting.
to drive-through going in.
Right.
It's like,
and I think it's getting harder from a real estate perspective. So we're pivoting this Starbucks stock talk into our real estate topic of the day because I think it's super interesting how we navigate and use a QSR. When I say QSR, quick service restaurant, also includes Starbucks. From a municipality standpoint, it's really
technical today.
Oh, I'm getting super technical. It's very difficult to get new drive-throughs approved because of stacking, which stacking is like the amount of cars that would sit in line that can fit. You know,
also, like on the piece
like
of
we
land.
talk about this building down here, guys, that would just be a killer Starbucks place in downtown Boise for maybe a mini Starbucks reserve, but I don't think it could hold the stacking of the drive-through. Because of that main road on Front Street.
Yeah.
It would hold like 3 cars, but I would assume that the city would require you to have stacking of close to 10, 12 cars.
At least.
To handle the load.
Might be able to do some renovations down there in that lot, but also it's not
Probably
much work.
won't get approved.
Because also those like really historical buildings right next to it, right?
Nothing's getting torn down. Those historical buildings. But back to that. With Starbucks opening so many new stores, just looking at like our Idaho market, it's going to be really interesting to see where they're able to go. Right now, I think there's a huge need for a new Starbucks downtown. Just from a real estate perspective, they don't have a great location.
Don't have one.
They've got one on State and 19th, and it's that doesn't even have a drive-through. So it's like Starbucks is non-existent downtown. Riley had to go all the way to Broadway to get this thing by Boise State, which is a jaunt over there. Getting really good with my words today.
Yeah, luckily I commuted via automobile, but
yes. So we need a Starbucks downtown for those brokers that rep them in Idaho. We know who you are.
Well, because also like in the bigger metro areas, like if people can just ride the elevator downstairs, walk out the door, and go across the street to the Starbucks, like that's
Starbucks. Boise is big enough to have something downtown. When you go real estate wise, it's just
we need to kick Dutch Bros
out of there.
But they like the drive-through, so
yeah.
But so
not
does Dutch
always
Bros.
Though. Dutch Bros is only drive-throughs. Like that's
what
their
I'm saying.
only one that
like,
doesn't
why
have a
can't
drive-through.
Starbucks take them?
I don't know. Starbucks looked at that location and they turned it down. Can you believe that?
How many years ago is that?
7 or 8.
So was it like
got built? I don't.
8th Street was probably still a road, yeah.
All I have to say is I know who handled that account from a real estate local perspective, and I just don't think that a good job was done managing the Starbucks account.
Starbucks side, yeah.
Well, from the local representative side, didn't put on a hard enough push because so Starbucks, the way Starbucks organization works, because they don't have a franchise model, they're all corporately owned. So they have a full-blown real estate department, territories. So like one guy in Seattle manages Washington, Idaho, Montana. But then in each state, they hire a local tenant representative from a local brokerage because they have local knowledge to be their boots on the ground kind of thing. So it kind of works through that direct real estate representative. And then the local boots on the ground guy finds the locations and then sends them up the chain for corporate to decide if they're good stores or not. So
Gotcha.
Where I think that got hairy is they didn't put on an aggressive enough push for the Dutch Bros location downstairs because I think it's a great spot and there's nothing else downtown. So
I think it's a great spot too. That's a really nice.
It's a great corner.
Yeah, but like
there's
physical.
There's no parking though. That's one thing too.
No.
That's maybe that.
But,
I think that's why they didn't go there.
But also, I mean, You're gonna get all that traffic, the foot traffic from 8th Street being opened.
Yep. And all the businesses.
Yeah, like for us, the Wells Fargo building, Zion's building, there's a lot of offices right in this, right
Yeah.
here
Yep.
in the
Yeah.
Grove area. So it's like, and I'm sure Dutch Bros doesn't do as well as Starbucks could
I agree.
because
They've got great Wi-Fi though too.
40-year-old businessmen are not gonna be like, I'm gonna go to Dutch Bros.
Yeah, you wanted me to Dutch Bros.
They're like, what? Dutch who?
Dutch who?
But
Oh, Riley. Where
Yeah.
else should we put a Starbucks in Boise?
in Boise, I mean, we just
Right
need
in
one
Caldwell.
downtown.
We do need one downtown.
Maybe like Linder and Highway 44, State Street
Ooh.
area.
It's a ways out
'Cause I know
there.
my buddy lives in some apartments over there, and I'm always
That's
when
like
I
the
drive by there,
path
when I
of
drive.
development, dude. I like if in our age, like if we can pool up enough money to go buy land between like Linder and Caldwell Boulevard,
Yeah.
let's do it. You know, because
Yeah,
that's just
'cause-
where everything's growing.
Well, if there's a Starbucks there, there's also like what, Homestead Legacies over there. Like there's people that would go to
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot of traffic. They got to make sure they're on
Because
the right side.
the
of
only
the road
other
if they
one
do.
is by Renovare neighborhood off of Highway 44.
Yep.
But that's like
The
past
state, that's
Eagle.
way down there.
So Edgewood, that's the
Yep.
road.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be a good location.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's one right on Linder and Chinden, but
Yeah,
they build
it's
right
up the
across from
hill.
each other. And
I know. Well, it's like it's the hill thing that I think most from a real estate perspective, from Chinden to State Street and just dropping down that hill, people don't do that.
Yeah.
From like a local like understanding of like geographical driving patterns, like we don't go down the hill. Like when you're going downtown on Chinden, you know, heading east, you don't turn left to go down to State.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just and this is why I think Starbucks has had success over the last 10 years is really relying on their local boots on the ground as well to find good locations for traffic patterns, things like that. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, Highway 44 has lots of wheels rolling on it every day.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's September 15th.
And
So-
Starbucks has dabbled in a little crypto, but we've got some crypto news. The Ethereum merger has been approved. It has gone through.
It's been completed.
It's been completed, and I hope that you still have all your ETH,
I do.
which everyone's like, oh my gosh, is it going away? So the Ethereum network completed the single biggest upgrade in the currency's 7-year history yesterday.
It's only been around for 7 years.
And now Ethereum only uses 99.5% less electricity because of proof of stake, versus proof of work. So just once again for your guys' listening knowledge, before the upgrade, Ethereum was proof of work. So what that means is before the merge, the computers purposely used a large amount of electricity to validate transactions. As a reward for spending electricity, computers are rewarded cryptocurrency, also known as proof of work. It's a complex system for now. All you need to understand is that spending electricity was necessary to ensure the network couldn't be shut down and for it to remain decentralized. That's confusing.
Yeah.
Pick that apart for me.
I can't.
Proof of stake. The new way the Ethereum network remains decentralized is by staking. Instead of spending electricity, computers that want to support the network and earn crypto will need to own 32 Ethereum and lock them up.
In order to find new?
No, in order to stake to earn rewards. You have to have a minimum of 32 and you have to lock those up for a certain amount of time. So making them unspendable for a certain amount of time, say 6 to 12 months. So having 32 Ethereum, I think that's the number to have what's called a node, which
like
means
40K.
Yeah, exactly. So the Ethereum network can now be supported by normal laptops around the world, making the Ethereum network safe.
It's also would be more like more accessible, like that just said.
Well, in ways, yes and no. So proof of work, spending electricity to earn crypto. So before you could run your computer's hard drive to earn Ethereum, let's say, make it kind of simple. Whereas Ethereum was being created to fund that, where now it's like locked. So when you look at like outstanding shares, all the outstanding shares are there now of
Gotcha.
Ethereum. So like to earn rewards, you've got to go lock your
Lock it
32
up.
Ethereum for 6 to 12 months. And then you're getting paid on that. And then once it unlocks, you get it back.
Okay, so opposed to getting paid for creating new Ethereum, you're just getting paid for holding yours and locking
Or
it up.
locking it with something or somebody.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's kind of what I take away from it. But I think it's a good move. It does, the caveat to it that I think a lot of really deep rooted crypto enthusiasts are frustrated with is that it becomes a little less decentralized in ways because someone's holding the bag now
Yeah.
of what the value is. And when you look at value, it's just, the understanding of supply and demand. It's like, okay, how many buyers out there, how many sellers, So if you're locking a good portion of that equity just to create validated transactions, I see the price of Ethereum going to 40K like overnight because of this, but it's going to take some time for it to kind of shake out the kinks.
Yeah.
This is not investment advice. Don't buy Ethereum.
We're not
based on that.
professionals.
We are not professionals.
Invest at your own risk.
But I mean, just from a supply and demand standpoint, I think that it just takes the price of one Ethereum way up because of your utility with it. Like it's so integrated in gaming and like NFTs and all that stuff now to like convert USD to ETH and back. Like I don't know. Like it's either going to crash or it's going to go to the moon.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, it's down 8% in the last week.
Expected.
That's
expected.
Because it's kind of
glad it's not down more.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, how would I say it? To like investors, it's almost kind of like uneasy news. Like they don't really know about it. They don't understand it. So people get skeptical. But then I feel like obviously the big honchos will step in and.
Yeah, the guy, Vital, that created Ethereum had a feeling, and there was a bunch of rumors that it was going to like get cut in half. Like the price of ETH with this could just drastically drop, and it obviously didn't. So that's a huge positive for this merger is that, you're going to see some rocky roads the next 3 months, he mentioned. But for the long term, I mean, you look at some of the issues that Elon had with crypto and owning it was because it wasn't energy efficient. Now the mining of Ethereum is kind of completely gone. It's like, it's way more green, I guess, to say the least. Green money.
Yeah. Well,
green money.
California needs all the help it can get on that side of things.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of interesting to you? We have 5 minutes left.
Yeah. We've been cruising today.
No, do you know? No, I'm saying, isn't that interesting to you, the whole California electricity power grid debacle?
Oh, issue? Yeah, a little bit.
Like,
I don't know enough about it to be dangerous.
Well, it's like they all.
It's kind of like the water thing. Like I don't understand it enough to like make a very firm.
Like it doesn't
prediction.
affect us, so it's like
it doesn't.
Whatever.
We live in Idaho. It snows, so we have water.
The U.S. power grid though is very outdated and super stressed. Like, kind of stresses me out on a daily, but.
Yeah, we'll see. But so I was changing the batteries on my remote last night because they were dead.
Yeah.
And just to like hold a battery and think there's like energy in that.
Yeah.
Isn't it just weird to think about?
It is. It's weird.
Like batteries will last like a couple years and they're just like this spool of these like things that were mined from the earth, interwoven together to create static electricity.
And now we have one.
I was like, that's
big enough
almost,
to put in a car.
Yeah, that's almost better than the light.
Yeah.
Like if you think about
it,
it's like
better than the remote.
Electricity could actually turn on a light, but I don't know. Okay.
The light is just
going off a deep end here today.
But yeah, so I don't know if I'll be getting an electric vehicle anytime soon.
Yeah, they're just not quite convenient enough for me.
I would get a Tesla if I had a second driver.
Yeah,
like a second car.
Yeah,
if I had a daily driver, that was gas. Because also, if I'm gonna make a road trip, like. It's not extremely inconvenient, but you still got to stop for 40 more minutes, 4 more times. So it adds an hour, 2 hours to some trips.
Which I think is the biggest flaw to Tesla right now that could completely take it like to zero is if they're not able to figure out a more efficient charging system.
Yeah. Because they have their like super
Supercharging places.
well, have you ever seen the like Tesla charging? It's almost like a gas station.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for-
The supercharging stations.
you can like go in and there's like a lounge area and like stuff like that. They're cool, but it's like, all right, we need this to charge in what takes 4 minutes to fill up your
you
tank.
see, like, and where the efficiency is like not having those and being able to charge at home and have it be enough. Do you see what I mean with that? Is
Well,
like,
yeah, we're just not there technologically.
we're not there.
Like we're just
Come on, Elon.
It's not. Yeah, the consumer can't keep up to what they would need
Demands.
to
Yeah.
implement at home.
Yep.
It's just not, one, probably cost effective for 90% of the users, and two, not as easy to access, I feel like. So,
Right.
cool idea. It's getting there. I think we're witnessing history, but
I think so too. I think there's going to be a breakthrough with batteries. I know Elon's working on.
Because
didn't
batteries
they
are
buy like Duracell or some huge.
I don't know.
Panasonic. Tesla
Panasonic?
bought Panasonic, like
interesting.
the battery company. Yeah.
What's interesting to me is not the efficiency, kind of, but like getting like the electric vehicle, like I feel like it's just not efficient enough yet from the standpoint of like mining the lithium or whatever, like
Right.
getting in the battery. And it's like, I feel like that takes like, and some Teslas just like catch on fire because of the battery. It's like, all right, how do we not have that happen?
Right.
So it's like, and they're so heavy. I mean, they're probably like twice as heavy as a normal car the same size.
Yeah.
Because of the battery. And it's like, all right, we gotta, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they just have to optimize it.
Yeah.
And like,
It's got to get, the technology's got to get better.
it's got to get way
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's a big milestone getting there in the first place, but like that's the first part of like getting better is like having something to work
Right.
with
Right.
and then going from there. But if I had a Tesla though, I would literally floor that thing every time the light turned green just because I just fucking love flying. Oh, jeez. You've driven one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked it. They were fun, but like I said, there's just a practical. Like I used to be a Tesla
Yeah.
fanatic and was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna own one. I even ordered the Model 3 and then canceled it because I was like, I don't know. A little bit of me is like, eh.
Just ride Aria's little.
Yeah, we have a Tesla
Four-wheeler thing.
four-wheeler, dude.
Is that thing sweet?
It's super fun. We ride it like every night to the park, and it's like my kid's not gonna learn how to ride a bike because we
Yeah,
ride this
that's
Tesla
so funny.
four-wheeler.
Ryan used to have a Model X, and we would whip around on that thing.
Oh,
And it was like turbocharged or whatever. It was like
super fast.
crazy.
I know it's funny because it sounds like a spaceship too. It's like
It does sound like it. Yeah.
yeah.
Insane.
That's a good sound effect.
But
too.
that was good. We'll use
Wrap it up here. Quick bites.
Quick bites. We did it again.